Hey, everybody. I hope you had a great weekend. It's Monday again. Time to talk to Rick about real estate. How's it going today, Rick?
It's going great as always. Busy. We have a lot to say grace over at this company, if you're in real estate today, it's going fast.
It sure is. It sure is. And so, with that rate increase, what do you think about the predictions on consumer confidence moving forward in 22 and 23?
So I don't know if you saw this morning, and maybe that's where the question comes from, but average mortgage interest rates in the U.S. just squeezed over 5%. And when you think about a year and a half ago, home buyers and home refinancers were getting 2.5%, 2 and 7/8, 2 and 5/8, even 3. That cost of housing finance increase is going to have a very quieting effect on the housing market. Now, we know, if you've been in the real estate any length of time, you know that 5% is still cheap money. It's very inexpensive to finance a mortgage today. But if you're thinking about moving up, coming out of a 3% or sub 3% mortgage interest rate, and you want to move up, buy a little bit more house, maybe 25, 35% more in terms of the value, and your housing finance costs are 60, 70% greater than the one you're in, the net effect of that is it's going to slow you down. So plenty of homeowners are not going to be home sellers because of that rate increase. And that, I think, is the greatest risk for the market. You actually said the phrase consumer confidence.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's
Yes.
I don't think it's consumer confidence that's the issue. I think it's affordability and what is the cost to move up. We're all driven to have more and better. We get it, but when the cost is too dear, people kind of sit down and say, "We'll wait for another day," and that's going to further deprive the market of inventory. And it's already been doing that. So prior to the Federal Reserve's first interest rate increase, Rob, there was the rates had already, in anticipation of that, moved 120 basis points from a year ago previously. So
For sure. I remember that.
yeah, it's a big impact, and it will the net effect of that is it's going to deprive the market of inventory, and is depriving the market of inventory.
For sure it is. Do you think that, will the housing prices drop now because the market is stalling and there's nothing to buy and there's no inventory? Do you think that it'll change some of the prices in some of the places that are maybe overpriced right now or anything like that? And maybe where people are, feeling like they've been gentrified out of a place where they can't afford it, now they will be able to afford it?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think paradoxically, home prices are going to rise, Rob.
They're going to go up again.
When it's a supply and demand imbalance, and it's going to be exacerbated by fewer people putting properties on the market. When the supply drops or continues to decline, and we're sitting in double digit declines in available inventory from where we were a year ago, which was double digits from the previous year, which is down high single digits from the year before that. So we are really in an unusual, very, very atypical and historically low inventory market. And, people say, well, new construction's catching up. New construction will always be no more than 20, maybe 23 or 4%, maybe that high, of the total housing inventory, total housing units in the country. That means 4 or 4.5 out of 5 homes that sell need to be the churning resale market. And when that slows down, so I think property values are going to continue to rise at a rapid rate because the rate of inventory decline is so great.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's my crystal ball, Rob.
I like it. I mean, because some people would be thinking, like, that's why I'm asking. I look at it. I'm like, well, maybe some pockets will become more affordable. That not become not affordable to some people. So, if prices are going to keep getting higher, then maybe people, instead of looking at detached homes, they start looking at apartments or things like that, things that are more affordable. Would you think that would be maybe where the market goes to, instead of buying expensive detached homes, people can get a condo or something like that?
Yeah, well, when it comes to the pure affordability play, you buy what you can afford. If you have an ardent desire to be a homeowner and start building equity, then you buy what you can afford. And in most cities, and I'm not talking about city chic condominiums because that's a whole different thing. But when you start looking at affordability in the condominium markets, and they're not in downtown city markets, but they're out a little ways, and it's a condo, then it's a smaller place. Those act as sometimes a very good starter property in a high-priced market. The thing that works against that, of course, is today there's still fewer financing options for condominiums. And then secondly, there's a condominium or association fee that someone has to pay, which kind of offsets the lower price range affordability issue. So condos aren't a pure and simple great solution. They do help, but not a pure and simple. It's not a magic wand.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for meeting with me again today, Rick, and thanks for everybody for tuning in. Just a quick chat about the rate increase and maybe some predictions for the coming year. And we'll see you again next week.
Thanks, man. Good to see you. Glad to be here.
Thanks, man.